Well, there was no Saturday sermon last week, but cast your mind back to last Saturday. What happened? Lots of people tuned in last Saturday afternoon to watch the funeral of the Duke of Edinburgh. There's a photograph that I've seen from last Saturday lots of times now, a photograph of the Queen sitting all alone in that funeral service at St George's Chapel. Lots of royal commentators described it as a heartbreaking picture. One journalist wrote, "The cold hell of a COVID funeral, shameful putting any grieving widow through this isolation at their greatest moment of need." Whatever you think, that picture of her sitting alone is certainly a powerful reminder of the separation and loneliness that bereavement brings. Her husband of 73 years is gone. Well, over the last few Saturdays, I've been describing the Christian life. The Bible describes Christians as being in a marriage relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. In the Old Testament, Isaiah writes this, "Your Maker is your husband." Jesus Christ is married to his people. He is their husband. Think of the happiness of a wedding day, a couple that can't wipe the smile from their faces. Well, the Lord Jesus Christ delights in his people. Again, some words from the Old Testament describe how he rejoices over his people with gladness and exults over them with loud singing. Now that's a remarkable thing, because all people are unclean in the sight of God. But Christ is the husband who gave his life to make his people clean at the cross. The Apostle Paul writes in Ephesians 5 verse 25, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." At the cross, Jesus took the sin of his people upon himself so that he might enjoy and know his people as his bride. In the Old Testament, the prophet Hosea was told by God to go and marry a prostitute called Gomer. Now you might think this is a bit of a weird thing, but he did, and they had 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. But then Gomer left him. She left Hosea and went and found other lovers. Eventually, she ended up a slave and was being sold in a slave market. At the slave market, Hosea comes and he buys her back. A man comes along and bids 13 shekels, so Hosea bids 14. Another man bids 15. Hosea bids more. Whatever anyone else was willing to pay, Hosea was going to pay more. The Lord Jesus Christ gave his life at the cross to buy back his sinful and adulterous people, so that he might make them beautiful, and so he might delight in them. Christ's people will never be separated from him. The Bible ends with a wedding, the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Jesus Christ. The marriage between Christ and his people will never end.